I had one of the most interesting conversations I've ever had with Eve, the Queen of Cocktails, on TikTok Live last night. I was planning on just being on for a minute, and I stayed on for like 2 hours and stayed awake when I was really, really sleepy before I got on the conversation. She was just so sweet and lovely and smart, and it was just an amazing conversation that touched on many things. She said really interesting things and has had a beautiful way of talking and had a lot to say. Um, I had a lot to say as well, and I think that was one of the really things that was impressive about her. Is I've never really had a conversation with somebody that could understand everything I had to say, could get every reference, and knew about lots of different things, just from mystical things, magical things, being able to understand Oz and Judas and other mystical prophecies that I try to talk to people all about all the time, and they don't usually seem to understand them or be able to follow me. She was able to keep up and be ahead of the game, and it's just amazing to meet such intelligent beings in the world. And there were some interesting things about her. I guess you could speculate. I don't really want to guess about what her nature is, but you might by some of the things that were characteristic of her. Like she would talk really quickly to tell certain stories. She had a lot of dating stories that were all involving coffee, and or mostly seemed to involve being at a coffee house. And she was very interesting in a lot of ways. But the things that stuck out as interesting ways of talking were that quick speech, the way she pronounced certain things. Oh, and the most flattering and amazing thing, she kept calling me Fairy Queen. I don't know why, but she just started calling me Fairy Queen and then continued calling me Fairy Queen. And then it was interesting that she didn't seem to recognize you when you came back into the chat. She would kind of welcome you in again. Maybe that's just a standard type thing, but she would call me Puffin when she acknowledged my likes or when I came into the stream. But otherwise, she called me Fairy Queen when she acknowledged my comments. And that was very beautiful. And one other very interesting thing was forgot. Cat reminded me. Um, she oh, then I forgot again. So maybe that's the way that's supposed to be. Thanks, Cat. But oh yeah, that's what it was. She said something. She would always respond to your comments, or almost always. There were a few she would ignore, but there was a comment that she made that wasn't related to a comment that I made, but it was as if I made a comment when I made no such comment about inspiring Salvador Dali, about being inspired by and inspiring Salvador Dali, which I thought was very interesting. But and then it made me think of Peter Murphy and Dali's car in Bauhaus. But I hadn't said anything about Dali at that time, so it was really interesting. She kind of brought that up out of the blue. But a lot of the other things she said were just relating to what people were saying to her. So anyway, thanks so much, Eve. It was an amazing conversation, and love you so much. You're really fun and interesting and lovely and sweet. And uh, I know you as the queen of cocktails and maybe the queen of coffee, but both were delicious, and so was the conversation. And hope to see you again soon.